Across communities nationwide, golf carts are becoming a common sight on public roads, from beach towns to retirement communities to suburban neighborhoods. But making this transition from private property to public streets requires navigating a pretty complex web of regulations. Welcome to Golf Cart Chronicles. I'm Matt White, and today we are tackling one of the most requested topics from our viewers: how to make your golf cart street legal and what that process involves. The process involves more than you might think, from specific lighting requirements to safety equipment, registration, and insurance. But the freedom it provides can be transformative for how you use your cart. Throughout our series, we've explored communities, performance modifications, factory operations, and even racing applications. Today, we're focusing on the legal framework that makes it possible for you to enjoy your cart beyond your private property. We'll also be getting insights from the business side of this growing industry. I'll be speaking with a dealer who recently chose to partner with Sierra LSV, and we'll discuss how the golf cart market has evolved and where it's heading. Whether you're considering making your current cart street legal or buying one that's already compliant, this episode will give you the roadmap to navigate the regulations and the opportunities. This is Golf Cart Chronicles from Sierra LSV. One of the most common questions I get about golf carts is, can I drive this on the street? The answer isn't as simple as a yes or no, so today we're diving deep into what it takes to make your golf cart street legal and why it matters. First, let's clarify some terminology. There's an important distinction between golf carts and low-speed vehicles, or LSVs. Golf carts are designed for golf courses and for private property. LSVs are specifically engineered to meet federal safety standards for public road use. LSVs are limited to a maximum speed of 25 miles per hour and are restricted to roads with speed limits of 35 miles an hour or less in most areas. This isn't a limitation necessarily, it's actually what makes them legal for street use. Converting a standard golf cart to street legal status requires some specific safety equipment mandated by federal law and states and local municipalities. Lighting is crucial. You'll need headlights, taillights, brake lights, turn signals, flashers and hazards, reflectors, all that meet the DOT standards. Typically, safety equipment includes seat belts for every passenger, mirrors that provide adequate rear visibility, DOT windshields, and a horn. These aren't optional, a lot of these are federal requirements. All street legal LSVs and golf carts must have a 17-character VIN, or vehicle identification number, and a manufacturer's certificate stating that it meets the federal motor vehicle safety standards. So Mike, when we talk about street legal golf carts or LSVs, what's one of the first things that comes to mind if somebody says, I want to make my golf cart street legal? What should they be thinking about?
So the street legal golf cars, which is just a regular golf car that at one time was on the golf course, is going to need a lot of components on it. It's going to need headlight, tail light, turn signals, horn, brake lights, windshield, mirror, seat belts, license plate light. All that parts are readily available online. We get a lot of inquiries for customers wanting to do it themselves because they don't feel that they're capable of doing so, which is fine. But once all those accessories are installed onto the vehicle, you now have to have it inspected by the local police wherever you are using the vehicle at. They'll give you an inspection sheet saying, yep, you're all good to go, you have all the proper criteria. Then you will take your notarized bill of sale from whoever or wherever you bought the vehicle from, take both of those papers to the title bureau. They'll issue the vehicle a title, which will stay with that vehicle for the rest of its life. Golf cars are born with serial numbers, not VIN numbers. So that's one of the big differences between an LSV and a golf car. LSVs have a 17-digit VIN number. So with the street legal golf cars, you'll have to make sure that you stay in the jurisdictions that allow street legal golf cars. Ohio is a street legal state as of 2017. The way they set it up, Ohio created the law. Each city, township, or village can adopt that state law if they choose to do so. If they don't choose to do so, they can either look the opposite way, patrolmen when the cart goes by, or they could cite you for it because they didn't adopt that law. And they choose not to partake.
So if you buy an LSV, like the Sierra that you're sitting in right now, if you buy an LSV that's already a low-speed vehicle, what's the difference in that versus what you just described from a golf cart standpoint?
So the LSVs, majority of the name brands will come with all or almost everything that's needed to be street legal in the state of Ohio. The couple that I've seen, the main thing they were only lacking was illuminated license plate light, which isn't a big deal. The biggest thing is that a LSV is born with a 17-digit VIN. In most cases, most states, you cannot convert, factually in Ohio, you cannot convert a golf car into a LSV. When a golf car is inspected on your registration and your title, it'll be classified as underspeed, US. On your LSVs, it's classified on your registration title, LS, and it has a 17-digit VIN. That being said, LSVs are mostly assumed throughout the state to be allowed on all roads 35 and under unless there's a law against LSVs being on the road. Since it's 17-digit VIN, it's viewed as basically a vehicle, whereas a golf car or UV, underspeed vehicle, is generally referred to as a golf cart.
So what are some of the misconceptions maybe that people have about, we'll go back to the general term street legal, using both golf car and LSV, but generally what are the thoughts or misconceptions that people might have when it comes to a street legal vehicle?
A lot of customers have seen street legal golf carts or LSVs on the road, and they're like, oh, I could take mine that I just use around the yard and stuff. There's not a ton to learn, but that's definitely illegal. Number one, you don't have your turn signals and brake lights and seat belts and stuff, but you also don't have automobile insurance on it. So when either of these vehicles is on the road, a US or a LS, they need to have automobile insurance, and that's something we reiterate to our customers. Is to make sure you get insurance put on these vehicles, not the same type of insurance some of our customers will use at a campground or a yacht club because it's not on the road. You need actual car insurance to make sure you cover yourself and others around you.
And when you go through that process, is that usually just a matter of dealing with the insurance company? Is there a certain golf cart or LSV or US type vehicle insurance, or what is that?
So most insurance companies will cover it. It's always has to be looked into on the customer's end. But usually all they need is the serial number or VIN number, year, make, and model, and the insurance is pretty affordable. So there hasn't been much issues with customers getting their vehicles covered at all. And a lot of people think it's going to be as much as a car. It's not. Most of our customers are paying around $100 a year or so.
Here's where it gets complicated. Requirements vary significantly by state. Some states have comprehensive LSV programs with clear guidelines, while others have very limited or maybe even no provisions for street legal golf carts. The registration process also varies by state, but typically it involves providing proof of compliance, obtaining a title, and registering the vehicle just like a car. Insurance requirements also differ, with some states requiring liability coverage. In most states, you'll need a valid driver's license to operate an LSV or a street legal golf cart on public roads. What does it look like if somebody comes to you and says, hey Mike, hey Glenn's, I have this cart and I want to convert it to becoming street legal? What's that process looks? What's the cost associated? Just broad stroke anyway, what does that look like?
What we will do is education again. We're big on that. So first thing we're going to ask is where you plan on using it at, because we do know multiple local cities that have not adopted the state law. We don't want the customer to invest money in something that they can't use, no return. So that's the first thing we'll ask, where it's being used. Secondly, we'll ask what type of vehicle they have. And one of the main reasons is because if they have one of the older vehicles that is extremely slow, we'll try to talk them out of it, because we don't want them to be an impedance on the road and slow down traffic and so on and so forth more than they're already going to slow it down at 20 miles an hour, which is the max for a UV. So we'll find out about the vehicle too, and try to guide them, hey, not a good idea, or hey, you might want to upgrade your drivetrain or upgrade your vehicle. to keep up with traffic better. Cost, depends on the vehicle, year, make, model, what it has on it already, because some vehicles will have mirrors or windshield on it already, but you're usually 1,000-ish to maybe 1,500, give or take. That's with our parts and our labor to put all the accessories on the vehicle.
Costs can vary widely depending on where you're starting from. Converting an existing cart might cost $1,000 to $3,000 in some cases. When you add registration and insurance fees, buying a street legal golf cart right off the showroom floor eliminates that conversion cost, but it definitely comes with a higher purchase price. I've said this already, but don't forget about local ordinances. Even if your state allows LSVs, individual cities and counties may have additional restrictions or prohibitions. Also check with your local authorities before assuming you can drive on specific roads. The freedom to legally drive your LSV on public roads opens up entirely new possibilities, from neighborhood errands to connecting with local businesses and services. While the process might seem a little complex, thousands of LSV owners across the country have successfully navigated street legal compliance. The key is understanding your local requirements, ensuring proper equipment, and working with knowledgeable dealers who can guide you through that process from the beginning. Speaking of knowledgeable dealers, let's dive deeper into the business side of the LSV industry and discover what's driving growth in this exciting market.
Your life, your style, your ride. With Sierra LSV's lineup of customizable vehicles, there's a perfect match for every adventure. Loaded with premium features and backed by industry-leading warranties. Because the best memories happen when you're having the most fun. Sierra LSV, make it yours.
The golf cart and LSV industry has undergone dramatic changes in recent years. So to understand where this market is heading, I get a chance to talk with somebody who's made a significant investment in its future. So, Mike, tell me a little bit about what you did before you got into the whole golf cart world.
I grew up around cars, so I've always been into custom cars, old cars, classic cars. So most of all my jobs in the past have been car-related, car dealerships, car washes. Before I owned Glenn's, I actually did paintless dent removal for a big car dealership chain out here. And then I did accessories and vinyl installs. Then I ended up purchasing Glenn's in 2015 as an asset purchase. I was a pre-existing customer of theirs, and happens I was looking into a business to buy, and timing was perfect.
The industry has evolved far beyond its golf course origins, attracting entrepreneurs and established dealers from diverse backgrounds. So you've been, you said 2015, so about 10 years?
Yep, yeah, right over 10 years.
What would you say has changed, or at least a few things? I'm sure there's a lot, but
yeah, the industry, as most people know of and experience, is nothing like it was before. Glenn started in 2003, so it's been around for over 20 years. And I remember going to their showroom in the mid-2000s, and they had lifted carts there, Browns theme, police theme, stereos, wheels and stuff. But nowadays, you're getting all those accessories and then some factory, The refurbished market is in a difficult spot right now because of these brand new vehicles coming so heavily equipped. Technology is a lot different. You need to actually, how to read schematics, how to use diagnostic tools, how to do updates on batteries and stuff. Whereas 5 years ago or so, you didn't have to do any of that stuff to know about it.
Dealer relationships are crucial in the golf cart and LSV industry, where service and support and local expertise often matter more than your traditional automotive sales. What are some of the challenges as being a golf cart dealer in today's market or industry?
One of the biggest things I think it is that a lot of customers make their decision to purchase solely on price, lowest price. And they do that with refrigerators and beds and everything like that, But the golf cart, there's a lot of technology into these vehicles and stuff like that. Warranty is a huge thing. So Sierra has a great warranty as far as 3 years and bumper to bumper parts and labor and stuff like that. Whereas a lot of the other manufacturers that do have lower price points might only have a 2-year warranty on it, and most of them do not have labor paid, so the consumer is responsible for that. That's all figured into the retail price of the vehicle. So they might see a vehicle at $12,000 and another one at $10,000, and they'll go towards the $10,000 thinking they're getting a better deal. That's usually not the case, because you're getting added value in the warranty coverage on the more expensive vehicle and stuff like that. You usually are also getting better dealer and customer support from that manufacturer.
The diversification of the customer base reflects the growing acceptance of LSVs and golf carts as legitimate transportation alternatives, not just recreational vehicles. As far as the types of carts and then the uses for those, are you seeing more folks that are looking for something that is a street legal type of an option, or are people still buying them for the golf course or buying them for a small community where they're not really worried about that kind of thing?
Yeah, we deal with an array of customers using them in all different ways. The street legal aspect has definitely increased, but we still also have a lot of people that just live in bigger neighborhoods and stuff that don't need a true street legal plated vehicle. Just buying a vehicle without the VIN and without all of the street legal accessories is fine for their application. Same thing with campgrounds or yacht clubs, they don't need that stuff. But for anybody that does need a street legal vehicle, the LSVs have been a huge thing, which Sierra is. So they come, with the 17-digit VIN and the MCO that we could get converted right into a title for the customer without having an inspection like how you used to have to do with a golf cart that was turned into a street legal vehicle.
Right. As the market grows, so does competition, with manufacturers constantly innovating to differentiate their products and services.
Sierra I really liked because of the guys behind it. They're more like friends, almost family, than they are some of the other manufacturers, which literally treat you like a number. They're all about quota and numbers, volume and stuff like that. Sierra's there always to help, a quick text message and stuff like that. They offer a quality vehicle with a great warranty and stuff. And I love their attention to detail of their inspections before the vehicle hits you, not having to spend an hour and a half to do your own inspection before the vehicle's delivered.
Manufacturer support becomes critical as dealers navigate an evolving marketplace with changing customer expectations and regulatory requirements. Where do you see the next 3 to 5 years? What's your prediction of what's going to happen from now?
That's what us here in the shop talk about often, how rapidly the growth of these vehicles has grown with all the options, accessories, performance of the vehicle. It's like, what more can they do? They could keep getting better and better in quality. There's going to be more competition of lesser quality vehicles, lower price points and stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing we're going to see, because they're so well optioned already, is we're just going to see more growth in sales. More and more people are going to want these vehicles.
The enthusiasm and optimism we're hearing reflects what we've seen throughout our series. An industry in growth mode for sure, driven by changing consumer preferences and expanding applications. From the manufacturer's floor to the dealer's showroom to the customer's driveway, the golf cart and LSV industry represents a collaborative ecosystem focused on delivering transportation solutions that enhance quality of life. What's clear is that the industry has matured far beyond its recreational roots into a legitimate transportation sector, with room for continued growth and innovation.
Remember the pace of life before you ever had a life? Yeah, so do we. So when you embark on an afternoon adventure, the ride should be half the fun. So here's to the freeway, rush hour, traffic jams, and detours. This is a new pace with no rushed hours. Simply taking in the scenery before the sun settles below those clouds, and remembering to live just for a moment in the moment. Your older self is going to thank you. Sierra LSV, just my speed.
From federal safety requirements to state and local registration processes, today we've covered the essential steps for making your golf cart street legal. While the regulations might seem complex at first, thousands of golf cart owners and LSV owners have successfully navigated this process to unlock possibilities for their vehicles. We've also gained valuable insights into the business side of this industry from a dealer's perspective. The growth, diversification, and evolving customer base all reflect the broader transformation of golf carts from recreational novelties to legitimate transportation solutions. The key takeaway? Do your homework, understand your local requirements, and work with knowledgeable professionals who can guide you through the process. The investment in proper compliance pays back in convenience and peace of mind. Next time on Golf Cart Chronicles, we'll continue exploring the diverse world of golf cart culture and the people and communities they're transforming. Until then, I'm Matt White. Thanks for watching Golf Cart Chronicles from Sierra LSV.